A US appeals court has removed a major legal obstacle to the Trump administration's attempt to revive certain expedited removal directives. But once again, let us make one thing absolutely clear here, that this ruling does not mean that Indian citizens have suddenly been placed under a new removal policy here. The case involves certain migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela who entered the US through Biden era humanitarian payroll programs. So, why does this matter to the wider immigration debate? It does because it shows how quickly the American enforcement system is now changing. The administration wants greater authority to remove certain migrants without going through the full immigration court process that, by the way, many people associate with deportation. The legal battle has already moved through multiple courts, by the way. A lower court had blocked the administration's directives here. Then the appeal court overturned that lower court decision. But the appeals court did not necessarily decide that the government's entire policy was lawful. Instead, according to the reports, the court focused on whether the organizations challenging the policy had the legal standing required to bring the case or not. And that distinction, it is extremely important. Now, this removal is designed to move faster than traditional immigration court proceeding. That means government officers can potentially act more quickly when they identify somebody as being subjected to the removal. And that creates a very different environment for the migrants who are affected by this. For people with complicated immigration histories, unresolved cases, or uncertain documentation, the assumption there will always be that they are in a huge risk, which is true. But again, Indian nationals are not directly covered by the particular policy at issue time. But the broader message is very important. The US immigration system is placing greater emphasis on enforcement. The immigration debate is no longer only about who enters the country. It is about who can remain here, who can work, who can adjust the status, who can be removed, and how quickly the government can act. And that is why immigrants need to understand their status instead of relying on assumptions. A visa stamp does not tell the entire story. A work permit does not necessarily tell the entire story. A pending application does not automatically mean that every immigration issue is resolved. And a previous status does not guarantee a future status. The rules can change any time. Court decisions can change the government's authority, and enforcement priorities can change with a new administration. So, this is a story about a specific group of migrants, but it also tells us something much bigger about the direction of US immigration policy. And yes, finally, we come to a policy that puts a very different price tag on entering America. Well, that is up to $20,000.